I dare you to fix me. I'm crossing the line again.
The first court hearing in a criminal case is the arraignment and the pretrial. So, like the civil case, imagine yourselves that you are in the courtroom today. So we are in the courtroom. The judge enters, all rise, and then after he bangs the gavel, he will say, "Call the case."
For arraignment, criminal case number 131245, People of the Philippines versus
UB.
for the crime Mustafa, under Article 315, Paragraph 2D of the Revised Penal Code.
Appearances.
Prosecutor
EG.
hearing for the state, Your Honor.
Attorney
SP.
as counsel for the defendant, Your Honor.
Are you ready for arraignment?
Ready, Your
Yes, Your
Honor.
Honor.
Arraign the accused.
Please move forward, accused. You were accused of the crime for the crime Mustafa, defined and penalized under Article 315, subsection 2, paragraph 2D of the Revised Penal Code, as amended by Republic Act number 10951, committed as follows. That on or about the 22nd day of April 2020, in the municipality of La Trinidad, province of Benguet, Philippines, within the jurisdiction of this honorable court, the above named accused with full knowledge that she has no funds or no sufficient funds and with intent to defraud
MC.
by means of deceit, in true or false pretense, and fraudulent acts executed prior to or simultaneously with the commission of the fraud, did then and there willfully, unlawfully, and feloniously make, issue, and deliver stated check hereunder described as follows. Account number 987-654-321, check number 123-456789, drawn against BDO Unibank Incorporated, located at Our Lady of Fatima Building, Yandok Street, Baguio City, the amount of 500,000 pesos, dated April 22, 2020, payable to Mr. as payment to motor vehicle she bought from which check was dishonored on the ground of account closed. Presented for payment to the Roy Bank, hereafter failed to pay the sum covered by said check, despite demands for the payment and notice that the same was dishonored, to the damage and prejudice of Mr. and the total sum of said, contrary to law. Do you understand the crime charge against you?
Yes, sir.
What is your plea?
Not guilty, sir.
The accused pleaded not guilty, Your Honor.
Order. When this case was called for the arraignment of the accused was arraigned in a language she fully understood and she pleaded not guilty. Let a plea of not guilty be entered and a certificate of arraignment be issued. So ordered. Prosecutor, are you ready for pretrial?
Ready, Your Honor.
Okay. So you have your pretrial briefs already. So let's assume that pretrial already issued. Okay, stipulations, the order. So that is what will happen in a criminal case. Okay? So ganun lang. Pretrial, arraignment, and then immediately pretrial. So in the pretrial, well, you have your pretrial briefs there and the trial dates are already fixed. Let's assume that the trial date now arrived for the first presentation of Let us assume that the trial date already came. Let us go now to the first trial date. Okay. Call the case.
Criminal case number 131245, People of the Philippines versus violation of Article 315, Paragraph 2D of the Revised Penal Code, also known as STAFA.
Appearances.
Prosecutor appearing for the state, Your Honor.
Attorney appearing as counsel for the defendant, Your Honor.
Are you ready to present your first witness, Madam Prosecutor?
Ready, Your Honor.
So you call your first witness.
May we call to the witness stand our first witness?
The witness went to the witness stand. He was sworn to. So after he was sworn to, the judge will say to you, Madam Prosecutor, your witness. That's the time you can talk.
Your witness.
Your Honor, with the kind permission of the Honorable Court, we are offering the testimony of our first witness to prove that he is the private complainant in this case and that he executed a sworn statement to prove his complaint. Also, to prove the material allegations in the criminal information, to identify the perpetrator, and likewise to identify the following documents and all other matters relative thereto, Your Honor.
Proceed, Madam Prosecutor.
Mr. Witness, are you the same who is the complainant in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you remember executing a complaint affidavit in relation to this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, if you will see your complaint affidavit, will you be able to identify it?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Witness, I have here a document marked as Exhibit F, which is a complaint affidavit of... Is this your complaint affidavit?
Yes, ma'am, that is the one.
Now, on the complaint affidavit is a signature above it. Whose name and signature are these?
It's my name and signature.
Your Honor, the witness has identified Exhibit F.
Noted.
Mr. Witness, do you know?
Yes, ma'am.
Is she present for today's hearing?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Can you identify the accused?
Yes, ma'am. She's the one wearing white polo and white polo with black collar, ma'am.
Now, at this point, any staff of the court will now go near to the person pointed to and then ask the name. And the staff of the court will say the person identified himself as... Proceed.
Mr. Witness, how did you came to know?
Ma'am, she was introduced to me by my cousin, Anna, at Good Taste Restaurant. And since then, we became friends.
Now, what made you offer your car for sale to Miss?
Objection,
Your Honor.
sustain. What ground?
Leading question, Your Honor.
Is that leading? No basis. Okay.
Foundation.
Mr. Witness, have you ever been one of her clients?
No, ma'am. But she was...
Objection again. What is your basis? You establish the basis before you will ask question. Now you will now see the difference between a judicial affidavit and a testimony in court. Proceed, Madam Prosecutor.
Okay,
The last question that was answered that she was introduced by the cousin Anna. From there, you start from there.
Mr. Witness, do you know the occupation of Miss Anna?
No, ma'am. As far as I remember, she is working with the defendant, engaged with the buy and sell of cars.
Okay, buy and sell of cars. Is she your co-worker?
Anna, ma'am, is my cousin.
Okay. Okay, so have you ever been one of her clients, Mr. Witness?
No, ma'am. But Miss
Defendant.
once asked me to borrow my car to meet her clients in Marcos Highway. So, since then, she kept borrowing my car in several occasions. That's why I decided to sell my car. Sell my car to her.
So how much did you offer your car for sale to her?
I offered it for the amount of 500,000 pesos, ma'am.
Did she accept the offer immediately?
At first, ma'am, she negotiated for a lower price, but I stood firm with the original price, which is 500,000 pesos. But eventually, she agreed.
How did she pay it?
Objection, did she pay it? Was there a testimony that she paid? Nag-offer. She accepted. O ano na yun?
So, Mr. Witness, were you paid for that contract of sale?
She offered me, she tendered to me a check, ma'am, but I didn't. I wasn't able to encash the check.
So, where did she pay it?
She handed me the video check, ma'am, in the Payan restaurant at KM6 Saturday.
So, now I am showing to you a document marked as Exhibit A during the pre-trial. Are you referring to this document?
Depends. Will you not object? Mr. Defense Counsel, will you not object?
If you will see the check handed over to you, will you be able to identify it?
Yes, ma'am.
That's the time you will show. Okay?
Now, yes, Your Honor. Now I am showing to you a document marked as Exhibit A during the pre-trial. Are you referring to this document?
Yes, ma'am, that is the one.
Your Honor, the witness has identified Exhibit A.
Noted.
Mr. Witness, are you alone at that time when he handed over to you the check?
No, ma'am. I was accompanied by my two cousins, Texoy and Avery Bayobal.
So what did you do next after Miss handed the check to you?
We executed the deed of sale, ma'am.
Now, what made you execute the absolute deed of sale with?
I agreed to execute the absolute deed of sale for the reason that her insistence and assurance that she will not take me for she's my customer.
Now, if you will see that absolute deed of sale, will you be able to identify it?
Yes, ma'am.
I am showing to you a document marked as Exhibit B during the pre-trial as the absolute deed of sale. Are you referring to this document?
Yes, ma'am, that is the one.
Your Honor, the witness has identified Exhibit B. Mr. Witness, what did you do after receiving the check?
When the check came due, went to China Bank to encash the check.
So were you able to encash the full amount?
No, ma'am.
For what reason?
China Bank dishonored the check because the account was already closed. And I received a dishonor notice from the said bank.
If you will see that notice of dishonor from the China Bank, will you be able to identify it?
Yes, ma'am.
Now I am showing to you a document marked as Exhibit C during the pre-trial as the notice of dishonor from China Bank. Are you referring to this document?
Yes, ma'am, that is the one.
Your Honor, the witness has identified Exhibit C.
Noted.
Mr. Witness, after receiving the notice of dishonor, what was your initial reaction?
Ma'am, I immediately texted Eunice from her that the check she gave me was dishonored because the account was already closed. Also, I've been trying to call her several times from morning to evening, but she got full of coverage. I didn't get any response.
After not receiving any response from, what did you do next?
I asked for the assistant lawyer, and we are initial demand letter.
Now, if you will see that initial demand letter, will you be able to identify it?
Yes, ma'am.
I am showing to you a document marked as Exhibit D during the pre-trial as the formal demand letter. Is this the document you are referring to?
Yes, ma'am, that is the one.
Your Honor, the witness has identified Exhibit D.
Noted.
Now, Mr. Witness, after sending Miss the initial demand letter, what did she do?
Ma'am, she ignored the initial demand letter, ma'am.
After she ignored your first demand letter, what did you do next?
Ma'am, through my counsel, executed and sent a final demand letter to Miss.
How did you send that final demand letter?
We sent it through LBC, ma'am.
Now, if you will see that final demand letter, will you be able to identify it?
Yes, ma'am.
I am showing to you a document marked as Exhibit E during the pre-trial as the final demand letter, and attached herewith is an LBC registry notice. Is this the document you are pertaining to?
Yes, ma'am, that is the final demand letter I gave to Miss Eunice.
Your Honor, the witness has identified Exhibit E.
Noted. Noted.
Now, after giving Miss final demand letter, was she able to pay the full amount of 500,000 pesos to you?
Unfortunately, ma'am, up until now, Miss Eunice has not yet paid the full amount of 500,000 pesos.
But was she able to return your car?
No, also, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. Witness. Your Honor, that is all for our first witness.
Any cross from the defense?
I will cross-examine the witness, Your Honor.
Proceed, Mr. Counsel.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Witness, how long have you been friends with the accused?
Sir, we've been friends for almost a year.
During the duration of this friendship, was there any altercation or any disagreement between you two, Mr. Witness?
Objection, Your Honor. The question is irrelevant.
The witness may answer. Baka may LQ sila.
None so far, sir.
You mentioned a while ago about calling and texting the accused. Was there a time that she replied to your text or answered your calls?
Unfortunately, sir, there was not.
When you were calling the accused, did her phone ring?
No, sir. She was always out of coverage, sir.
Mr. Witness, you mentioned a while ago that you sent a formal demand letter. How did you deliver the said formal letter?
Sir, I delivered it to her house.
To whom did you hand it over?
Handed it to Mr. Mark, his husband.
Wait.
The husband.
I thought the husband received.
Why did you hand it over to the accused?
Sir, I handed the initial demand letter to her husband, Mr. Mark, because Miss was not present at that time. She's not home.
Do you know where she was during the time?
No, sir.
No more questions, Your Honor.
Any redirect, Madam Prosecutor?
No redirect, Your Honor.
Okay. The witness is now excused. So, do you have any other witness, Madam Prosecutor?
Yes, Your Honor, we would like to call our second witness to the stand.
Okay. Swear the witness. So, let us assume again na nag-swear na yung witness. Your witness, Madam Prosecutor.
Your Honor, with the kind permission of the Honorable Court, we are offering the testimony of this witness to prove that she executed an affidavit of witness, to identify said affidavit, and to testify that she personally saw the accused handing the video check to the complainant in the Payan restaurant, and lastly, that an absolute deed of sale was executed for the motor vehicle sold by the complainant, Mr. the accused.
Will she not identify the accused?
She will also identify the accused, Your Honor.
So proceed, Madam Prosecutor.
Thank you, Your Honor. Madam Witness, do you remember executing an affidavit?
Yes, ma'am.
If you will see your affidavit, will you be able to identify it?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, I have here a document marked as Exhibit H during the pre-trial, which is the affidavit of Ana Pecsoy. Is this your affidavit?
Yes, ma'am. That's my affidavit.
Now, on the affidavit is a name Ana Pecsoy and a signature above it. Whose name and signature are these?
It's my signature, ma'am.
Your Honor, the witness has identified Exhibit H.
Noted.
Madam Witness, will you please tell to this honorable court where were you on the day of April 20, 2020?
On April 2020, I was in the Payan restaurant.
Were you alone at that time?
No, ma'am. I was with me.
So how are you related to them?
They are both my cousins, ma'am.
So what were you doing in the Payan restaurant at that time?
I and accompany Mr. Mark Dave to meet at the Payan restaurant, ma'am.
So how do you know Miss?
He's my co-worker, ma'am, in the buying and selling of cars.
So were you supposed to meet her so she may pay to your cousin her obligation?
Oh,
Objection, Your Honor.
sustain.
Leading question, Your Honor.
Sustain.
Miss Witness, what made you and your cousin Miss Vargas in the Payan?
My cousin Mark Dave invited me to accompany him in meeting Miss Vargas at the Payan restaurant, ma'am.
Did your cousin inform you of the reason why he will meet Miss Vargas?
Yes, ma'am. Basically, to accept the payment of his Mitsubishi vehicle, ma'am.
Can you tell to this court what car model your cousin sold to Miss Vargas?
If he knows, she knows.
What I know is it's a black Mitsubishi Strada, ma'am.
Okay, Miss Witness, do you know if Miss Vargas paid him?
Yes, ma'am.
So how did she pay him?
I saw him handling a check to my cousin, ma'am.
So after handing over to him a video check, what happened next?
Mark gave her the keys to, and then we went to the office of Miss Nicola office to obtain a deed of sale of the motor vehicle, ma'am.
Thank you, Miss Witness. Your Honor, that is all for our second witness.
Any cross?
We will cross-examine the witness, Your Honor.
Yes, you cross.
Madam Witness, you mentioned that he's your co-worker in the buy and sale of cars. How long have you been working together?
Sir, we are working together for almost 2 years.
See. During those 2 years that you have been with her in the business of buy and sale, did you receive any complaint from your customers?
None so far, sir.
Did anybody return a malfunctioning vehicle?
Objection, Your Honor. The question is irrelevant.
May answer.
As far as I know, none, sir.
So, in this 2 years partnership, Madam Witness, about how many vehicles have you sold so far?
I cannot recall, sir. I cannot give you the exact number, sir.
Can you please give us an estimate then?
At least or more or less 40 vehicles, sir.
40 vehicles. So how do you earn money from selling vehicles, Madam Witness?
Sir, we earn money from selling vehicles mostly from a commission based, or sometimes if the owner allows us, we price the car higher than the offer of the owner, when then the difference will be ours, sir.
Okay. So you take vehicles from the original owner and then offer it for sale. Is that correct, Madam Witness?
Yes, sometimes, yes, sir. But sometimes we also ask as a broker or a middleman only, sir.
When you take the vehicle from the original owners, how do you pay to the owner before you sell the vehicle to other person?
After you sold.
Yes, sir, after we sold it. Or, yes, after we sold it, we use cash or sometimes check, sir.
Okay. During your previous transaction with together with had there been instances with she issued a check and was dishonored?
Sir, none so far.
Would you be able to say that your partnership with Eunice is in very excellent condition?
Objection, Your Honor. The question is misleading since no partnership exists between the accused and the witness.
May answer.
Uh,
You did not object a while ago and you keep on mentioning partnership. Okay.
yes, sir. So far, so good.
Earlier, Madam Witness, you mentioned that you saw Miss handing a check to Mr. Have you noticed how many checks she was holding at that time?
Yes, sir. I noticed that Miss they handed one check.
One second. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Madam Witness. No further question, Your Honor.
Oh, any redirect, Madam Prosecutor?
No redirect, Your Honor.
Oh, I thought you will have a redirect because you have so many objections. Okay. So you are excused, Madam Witness. Do you have any other witness for today, Madam Prosecutor?
Your Honor, we still have two witnesses, but they're currently not around, so may we respectfully move that the next witness be presented on the next trial date?
Any objection, Mr. Counsel, Defense Counsel?
Your Honor, no objection.
Okay. So the judge now will make an order. Okay? Oh, very good. And I congratulate you. You look more like lawyers, really. Okay. In presenting a criminal case, you should know the story and you should know the elements of the crime. So yun ang isa-isahin mo, Madam Prosecutor, pag you are presenting a witness. Okay? So, do you think you are able to present all the elements, Madam Prosecutor?
Yes, sir.
You believe, do not doubt. Okay? Because if you have doubt, the accused will be acquitted. If you are not convinced by your evidence, then how much more will you convince the judge? Okay?